Now, there is no doubt about it that the Marvel Cinematic Universe needed a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine. We all knew going into this that this was going to be Disney's last-ditch effort to really have a smashing success for 2024, and make no mistake, it was only a box office success because those out there like Ryan Reynolds and Shawn Levy, the director, by the way, are the ones that really pushed Disney to cave to do away with their overall DEI agenda and their overall ideology. When you focus on pure entertainment, that's when you get a success like Deadpool and Wolverine that just focuses on a fun time and just pleasing the audience and the source material. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, that's not to say that there was, of course, no drama that came along with Deadpool and Wolverine. You know, before and even during the reshoots, there was a lot of back and forth, argumentative conversations that took place between Ryan and his team going against the Disney heads, and even after the movie released, as they are preparing to debut this movie on Blu-ray/streaming on Disney+. Well, we have a lot more to talk about when it comes to Henry Cavill as the Cavillrine, and this is where things begin to get quite serious when it comes to Henry's situation at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, of course, over at Marvel Studios and the Walt Disney Company. We'll talk more about that. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot more to do with exactly what Bob Iger did to Henry Cavill, how Henry Cavill is reacting to all of this behind closed doors, and it's getting quite messy between both Marvel Studios and the Walt Disney Company. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, on top of everything here, with Ryan Reynolds and Shawn Levy already dealing with some level of drama between both Marvel Studios and the Walt Disney Company, one significant development now has more to do with Cavill getting involved in multiple argumentative conversations with the Disney executives for making false promises to him in his role for Deadpool and Wolverine as the Cavillrine. As it turns out, more negotiations recently took place after Bob Iger and the Disney executive previously decided to not include Henry's 2 extra scenes as the Cavillrine when he fights Deadpool in an extended fight and even gets to do a one-on-one battle with Logan, played by Hugh Jackman. Both of these scenes were reportedly part of Henry Cavill's contract for the film, and already Disney CEO Bob Iger, even after the negotiations restarted, still refused to accept Ryan Reynolds and Shawn Levy's demands to attach Cavill's extra scenes to the Blu-ray edition of the film. Now, this sparked outrage from Henry Cavill, which was a surprise to both Ryan and Shawn, since Henry is always best described as a mild-mannered individual. However, the scenes that Disney refused to release were said to be scenes that Henry was very, very passionate about, and even took multiple takes to complete the scene, even to a point where he was getting sick and nauseous from all the cigars that he had smoked on set to add realism for the character of Logan. Now, Cavill did warn the Walt Disney Company that he is looking to take some form of action against those like Bob Iger and the rest of the executives. What kind of action is currently not known at this time. However, since these scenes were part of his contract and embedded in there to be included for the Blu-ray and streaming edition, and are now no longer going to appear in any of those, it could very well be a legal case for Cavill to take things up a notch. Now, it even got to a point now where Ryan and Shawn are standing up for Henry. Even Hugh Jackman is behind the scenes, and all three of them are making various ultimatums to get the Blu-ray version of the film done their way with the extra features, not just limited to Henry Cavill. This includes the warnings of course, stepping down from other projects connected to the MCU, or else. Now, Bob Iger's defense was that excluding the scenes were all part of a cost-cutting measure for the film's post-theater release, which during the remote meeting that took place that erupted behind the scenes was called out by Ryan and Shawn as ludicrous, quote-unquote, and a subpar excuse by the CEO. Hey guys, let me stop before I move on. Now, here's another wild scenario where this is yet another studio that quote-unquote betrayed Henry Cavill. We've seen this before with, of course, Netflix. We've seen this with other studios that really turn their backs on Henry Cavill. It's not a big shocker, and nobody will ever truly understand why the film industry has a very big growing problem with Henry Cavill. Now look, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's a very straight guy. He just shoots to the facts of what he wants to do when it comes to the overall source material, respecting the fans. He's just someone that wants to, you know, pay respect to the individuals that grew up with these products, you know, whether it's Warhammer 40k, or The Witcher, or Superman, or in this case, Wolverine, or just the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. That's when you have problems, right? You have a guy like Henry that really is, like, for the fans in the most genuine way possible. You know, I think that you have some actors out there that are like that to a degree, but Henry really just is the epitome of that. He literally is an actual stand for the actual fans to go against studio heads. That's why I always used Henry Cavill and Ryan Reynolds as examples in recent weeks, as those that are brave enough to take a stand against studio heads, right? Against the suits, against the bigwigs. So, moving on from all of that, alright, in addition to all of this, Henry Cavill previously was in talks, get this, to play another character in the MCU, and now reportedly Bob Iger is backing away from Henry getting involved in that specific role. Now, what that role was going to be is currently unknown, but it was catered for Marvel's Phase 6, that too, of course, is said to have made Henry feel betrayed and shocked in disbelief that yet another studio turned on him and made false promises, and dropped serious discussions for his career advancement, in this case, for the MCU. Where it stands right now is that Henry holds a deep grudge with the Walt Disney Company that may or may not be fixed. Now look, we have Henry, of course, siding, or should I say we have Ryan and Shawn siding with Henry, and that's a good sign, but will it really go to a point where Disney caves and they throw these extra scenes on the Blu-ray/streaming edition? Who knows? Will it get to a point where Ryan and Shawn successfully make an ultimatum and step down from other projects connected to the MCU? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see if it gets to that point. But those are the ultimatums that are being handed out to really have a motive, right? To get Disney to cave, or to put them in a corner to respect Henry Cavill. Now, look, Deadpool and Wolverine, big successful film. This movie crossed $1 billion easily, and a lot of it had to do with you guys who saw the movie multiple times, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, heck, even 6 times. That's exactly what made this movie a whopping success. And we all saw this coming, right? We all saw what Ryan was doing to really make this movie into something that would be very much respectful to the fans, and something that you could just enjoy, and not having to watch previous films to understand everything. It's just a fun movie that pays respect to the quote-unquote Fox universe, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? So, again, I think that Henry Cavill deserves all the respect in the world, because this guy is literally, you know, a shining example of what the fans are, right? He is a symbol of the fans, of the source material, of whatever he's involved in. Like I said before, whether it's The Witcher, Superman, in this case, Marvel with Wolverine. I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.